Kristy Turnbull's joining me now to discuss the Eastern Eyre Netball Association. Kristy, how are you going today?
I'm very well, thanks, Dan. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. And before we get into last week's games, we're going to start off. We already heard from Yeelanna about the Lock Carnival from the Western Eyre point of view. How did the girls go from Eastern Eyre's point of view?
We had a great day out at Lock last Sunday. We had 6 teams participate, so one in every division. Our under-13 Div 2 girls went through undefeated, winning the Shield in their age group, so congratulations to them. Our under-15 Div 2 had a really strong competition. I think they got 1 win on the board for the day. It was a great day of netball for them as well. 13s and 15s Div 1, under-17s and seniors all made the grand final. So 4 from 4 into the grand final last Sunday for Eastern Eyre, which was awesome to see, and huge congratulations to our senior team that took home the win over Great Flinders 26-18 in the grand final. So that was, it was really good. Great day of netball. Thanks to Lock for hosting and Western Eyre for hosting. They put on a fabulous day. Quick shout out to Shiley Harris, Nicole Symes and Geordie McCullum, who were selected in the top 10 of the carnival. I can't forget to mention them. That's a huge achievement for those girls. So well done to those as well.
Yes, very good. Well-deserved shout-out to those girls. Congratulations to them. And we'll get into round 5 on the weekend. And not so close the results this time around. Central Eyre United with a big 20-goal win over Eastern Rangers.
Yeah, this was actually a bit of a shock to me. These two were playing for second position, separated only by, I think it was about 2% going into that game last week. So CEU came in from all accounts and settled very quickly and just played a consistent team game. They're very good at doing that, CEU. They're a strong, well-oiled machine, that team. They got an early lead over Rangers and kept the intensity up all game to keep that lead and have that 20-goal win. Rangers certainly didn't back down. They fought very hard through the whole game. They just couldn't close that gap, CEU. So good win to the CEU girls. Put them fairly firmly in second place coming into our second round, so everyone's played everyone now.
Top teams got 4 wins, followed by 3, 2, 1 and 0. So there's a pretty clear pecking order at the moment, but as we know, there's still 2 rounds of games to go, so plenty of time for that to be shaken up. And in our other game over the weekend, Kimber Districts had a very big win over Cal, 73-32, comfortably staying undefeated on top of the ladder.
That was definitely an expected win for Kimber, I would think. Again, Cal would have hoped to perhaps not have that 40-goal difference, but Kimber are dominant. They dominated the game from all accounts. Their first half, they were just far too strong and fast for Cal. Cal come out firing in the third quarter, and Laurie Turner in defence put lots of pressure on, but it just wasn't enough for the Cowgirls. So, congratulations to Kimber, undefeated at the end of our first round. And, like I said, the pecking order, I think, fairly well set at this stage. Kimber will be a very hard team to beat and match. But Kimber will now rest for a couple of weeks. They've got the bye this weekend, followed by the long weekend next weekend.
All right, so Kimber with the extended break, and it was Ports with the bye in round 5. Of course, they're back in action in round 6, and they're taking on Central Eyre United, so they'll have their work cut out for them there.
Oh, they sure will. Yep, so Ports come up against Central Eyre United tomorrow at Port Neale. We've had a fair bit of work being done at Port Neale. They'll be playing on the new court, christening a new court that we've had installed down there, which is fabulous. Ports will have Miranda Millard out of their defence lineup, but they'll have Tish Masters and Beck Harkey down there applying pressure to Central Eyre United. CEU will come in again with their full team, that team that just plays so well. They've got a lot of talent and a lot of height, and I think their height in goals will be hard to match with our defenders down there. Ports have got Premier League and high performance coach Jackie Blythe coming over from Adelaide, sitting in the A-grade coaches box with Megan Llewellyn tomorrow. So that'll be a good for the coaches and for the girls to have her experience there on the bench. It'll be a good game, but I think CEU they'll be too strong for the Ports girls again there tomorrow in Port Neale.
CEU won that one by 38 goals in round 1, so we'll see if Ports can close that gap. And in our other game, it'll be Cal taking on Eastern Rangers. So Cal went down by 29 last time they met, which was on Anzac Day. Do you think they can close that gap at all, or will it be Eastern Rangers extending it?
I think Cow will be hoping to close that gap, although Cow have got Claire Tavender and Shay McFarlane out coming into this game. They'll have Claire Norsworthy back into defence and new player Taylor Lovering, so I'm not sure how Taylor plays. So Cow would have been working pretty hard to come into this game. I think they would have had a fairly solid training last night wanting to close that big gap. Rangers will feel confident knowing that they had the big win over Cow in the first game of the season coming in. They'll probably be a bit stinging a bit still from their fairly big loss to CEU on the weekend and want to come out with a point to prove. And I think this will be a good game. I think Rangers will pick Cow, but I certainly don't expect to see the margin quite as large as it was last time these two teams met.
All right, exciting things happening in the Eastern Eyre Netball Association. Kristy, thank you very much for joining us and enjoy the games this weekend.
Will do. Thanks very much, Dan.
Moving on to our Great Flinders Netball Association update now, and we're lucky enough to have two correspondents for this one. We've got our usual Joe Franklin, and we've also got Maya Glover, star of United Yeelanna, joining us. So welcome to both of you.
Hi, Dad. How's it going?
Very good. Good to have you both on board. And before we get into the round 7 results and the round 8 previews, we're just going to have a quick chat about how the Lock Carnival went.
Yeah, sure. So Great Flinders sent sides in all of the grades. So their A grade, they actually made it through to the grand final. They had a couple of draws during the rounds, which was really interesting. There was actually a few draws in their senior comp. So they ended up getting through to the grand final. Unfortunately, they lost that 18-26 to Eastern Eyre. And I'm guessing that Eastern Eyre have already filled you in on that, Dan, because they're pretty happy with their win because all too often Great Flinders beats them in those games, so they'd be happy to come away with a win. In the under 17 and unders, Great Flinders were defeated by Eastern Eyre and by Port Lincoln, but they were able to defeat Western Eyre, which meant that they didn't end up in a final. The 15 and under Div 1s, they were defeated by Eastern Eyre and Port Lincoln, and then they defeated Western Eyre. In the Div 2, they were defeated by Eastern Eyre, and then they defeated Western Eyre. In the 13 Div 1s, they were very successful in the 13 Div 1s. They defeated Eastern Eyre 15-13. They defeated Port Lincoln 25-16. They defeated Western Eyre 33-8, which put them in the grand final against Eastern Eyre, and they were able to run out winners 17-10 in that grand final, which meant they went through undefeated. So well done to those girls and to the coach. And in the 13 Div 2s, they lost to Eastern Eyre, but they were able to defeat Western Eyre. So a very wet day for everybody, Dan.
Yes, that's pretty much been the common feedback. A very wet, but a very successful day nevertheless. So well done to all involved on the weekend. And we'll get into our regular programming now. Round 7 done and dusted. And we'll start off with Elliston Districts getting a good win over Cummins Kapini 35-24. So good enough for them to move to 5-1, second on the ladder.
Yeah, they are. And look, there was a big day at Poochera. They had the Dane Swan Day, so people from everywhere. It was a massive crowd. So lucky the girls put on a really good show in this game. So it was relatively close, really. Nikki Schubert and Kelsey Hull, again, we talk about them week in and week out for Elliston Districts in defence. Did a really good job against Hannah Green and Sarah Laurie from Cougars, a couple of young ones in there. The experience of the Elliston District Centre Court with Tegan Hull and Lorena Heberman. Claire Daniel had a great game in wing defence, and that actually won her the incentive award for the day. But they were just a bit too experienced for the Cougars. Young girls, Bree Shepherd and Billy Thompson, both first-time A-graders and are still finding their feet. Jet Green is the experience for them through there, and she just found it a little bit of a hard day at the office against Lorena, I think, on the day. So Rosie Rom came off at three-quarter time, which was interesting, and that actually in the last quarter, Cummins Kapini were able to outscore Elliston. So interesting that, the difference it made when they had to rest Rosie in that last quarter. But in that last quarter, Holly Gale and Jess Vandenbroek really were able to step up on Emmy and Tegan and, create a few turnovers, and they actually won that quarter by 3. So, all in all, a pretty close game.
All right, and into our next game. The Ramblers got a tight win over Ayr United, who are only sitting at 1-5 for the season, so they must be pretty happy with this result. 41-36 in favour of the Ramblers, but a brave loss by Ayr United.
and they've been having brave losses. So they're getting, there's only been 4 or 5 goals in it each week. So, pretty happy when you're putting together a whole new look side, as Cashie's doing, and getting close to the sides that are in the 4. A little bit disappointing, I guess, you get that close, but you just can't get the win. So hopefully in the next round they might be able to get some of those. But interesting for our Ramblers that they actually started Michaela Richardson, who has been playing in goals for them. They started her in defence on young Alice Fatchen, and Eyre United actually led at quarter time by 3 goals. In the second quarter, Lacey Manane and Sasha Stratford, have talked about her a couple of times as well. Good old Sash, she keeps on hanging in there. That was a pretty tight battle, and Ramblers were able to come back in that quarter, so that at half-time it was even 17 all. Both sides made some wholesale changes at half-time. Michaela Richo went back into goals. Lacey Manane went to wing attack. Kira Simons went to goal defence, and Paige Minard went into goalkeeper. For Eyre United, Eden Telfer went to goalkeeper. Sasha moved on out to wing defence, and Tammy Lacida was in at goal defence, which certainly would have helped that lineup. But Ramblers were able to hang on for the win.
All right, and Joe, you can step aside for this next game. We're on to Maya Glover now, our United Yeelanna correspondent. So United Yeelanna unfortunately went down by 16 goals to Lock, 64-48. But Maya, how did you see it playing out, and how happy were you with the girls and how your season's going so far?
I'm definitely pretty happy. It's my first time A grader, so it's definitely been a big step going from a D grade premiership winner to A grade, not winning too much, but no, it's been really good. I've been put into defence with Jazz Francis, which has been a lot of experience for me, just trying to up my game a bit more. But I had got the opportunity to verse Courtney Hull throughout that game, so that was very, very hard game. But it was not as bad as what we lost to last week, so I was pretty happy with that.
All right, very good, and good to have you on the show today. And I'll let you two fight out who wants to preview the next 2 games. We've just got the 2 games for round 8. Elliston Ramblers and United Yeelanna all on the bye. So Cummins Kapini playing Tumby Bay. That's shaping up as a pretty good game. Tumby looking to stay undefeated.
Yeah, I think they will. I think Tumby's gone pretty well this year. So we've already played Cummins Kapini, and they had a really nice goal side going there. They worked together, Sarah and is it Hannah? They work together really well. I've got the opportunity to play both of them, which was really good. But Tumby also do have a very strong side with Ilka and Maisie, and Alex played there when I was playing them, so that was really good.
And our last game of the round, Eyre United, we just spoke about it. They've had some close losses. Do you think they can get over the line against Lock?
Nah. Lock is a very strong side with how they're going, but I think that Eyre United have been playing very well this year for how they were portrayed to be able to play. They've gone really well this year so far, and I feel like it's a coin toss, I'd say, but Lock have gone really well. I wouldn't be surprised if Lock end up winning this one.
All right, love the brutal honesty there, Maya. Absolutely love it. Thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you, Joe, as well. Great to have you both on, and we're looking forward to chatting again. Enjoy the netball this weekend, and Maya, enjoy the week off.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.